After the attacks on Iran by United States and Israel, the statements coming from both Washington and Tehran have increased confusion around the situation. Both sides are presenting different and contradictory narratives. The United States says that good progress is being made in talks regarding a ceasefire. However, Iran has rejected the American proposal and clearly stated that any deal will only happen on its own terms. On March 25th, Iran's state television channel, Press TV, quoted a senior political and security official as saying that Iran will end the war only on its own conditions. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said that for several days the United States has been sending messages through different intermediaries. However, Araghchi clarified that this is neither negotiations nor bargaining nor anything close to it. He said Iran's policy remains focused on defending its security, and there is currently no intention to begin talks. Araghchi also stated that this is Israel's war, but the people of the region, along with the United States, are paying the price for it. In other words, while the United States claims progress in negotiations, Iran is completely rejecting that claim. According to Amir Azimi, editor of BBC Persian, this disagreement reflects the deep mistrust that has developed between the two sides since previous rounds of talks. During the conflict, there were two moments when it seemed that tensions might ease. However, on both occasions, after discussions took place, Israel and the United States carried out military strikes on Iran. From Iran's perspective, negotiations did not reduce the possibility of war. Instead, attacks followed soon after the prospect of talks emerged. This is why Iran views the claims of Donald Trump with suspicion. However, Iran's rejection does not necessarily mean it is against negotiations altogether. The situation is much more complicated than that. Even officials who support diplomatic solutions are under pressure. On February 28th, when the United States and Israel launched attacks on Iran, negotiations between the United States and Iran were already underway. Because of this, attempting talks again could be politically risky for Iran. It is also unclear whether the circumstances would be any different this time compared with previous attempts. This may explain why Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and other Iranian officials appear to be taking a tougher stance. According to Frank Gardner, BBC's security correspondent, when one side, the United States, says negotiations are underway to end the war, while the other side, Iran, insists that no such talks are happening, it raises the question of whom to believe. What is clear is that messages are being passed from the United States to Iran. However, they are not being sent directly. Instead, they are delivered through intermediary countries such as Pakistan, which maintain good relations with both governments. Even so, the situation is still far from any kind of agreement. That may be why Iran's military spokesperson has firmly rejected the idea of negotiations. The situation is beginning to resemble the stalemate seen in the Russia-Ukraine war, where attempts to end the conflict have repeatedly stalled. When this conflict began, the United States and Israel believed that their overwhelming military power could quickly bring about the collapse of Iran's Islamic Republic. However, that has not happened. As a result, what the United States and Israel want may not necessarily be achieved. With each passing day that the Iranian government remains in power, the confidence of Iran's leadership appears to be growing stronger. Meanwhile, the Arab countries of the Gulf are also increasingly worried about the situation. They have watched with surprise as the United States deployed